G'day and welcome to the WaterUps Oasis 1240 instructional assembly video. Congratulations on buying this Australian made planter bed. The planter frame is made from strong and long wearing colorbond steel, and the WaterUps wicking system is made from 100% recycled Australian food grade polypropylene. Before we begin, you will need a number 2 Phillips head screwdriver and a small but sharp knife and about 2 square meters of relatively level ground to build your planter on. Open the box and lay the contents out close to the area you will be assembling your planter frame. Notice that some of the pieces have a protective film. Remove the film as you lay out the pieces. Take a short rail with the corner brackets attached. Notice one of the sides is longer than the other. Place the long edge on the inside. Next, take one of the long rails. Note the 2 holes at one end and be sure to keep the long side on the inside. Checking the next bit that the hole and the long side are in the right orientation, put it in place. Now get your screws, make sure the holes line up and insert the screws. Now, repeat the process for the other end. If you're really getting into it, you can do all half rail assemblies at this point. Take the 2 halves, put them end to end and line them up. Now get one of the joiners with the 4 holes. Note that the long side goes on the inside. Line the holes up. Repeat on the other side and insert screws. Now flip the assembly over. This will become our bottom rail assembly. Take the end panel, ensuring the drainage outlet is at the bottom. For the other end, make sure that the WaterUps logo is facing the right way up before you place it down. Line the holes up in the end panels with the bottom rail assembly and insert screws. Now take a long side panel piece. You'll notice the profile shows that one end has an extra kink in it and the other has only a half curve. Place the half curve to the center of the planter. Use your fingers to gently pry apart the bottom channel, allowing the corrugated panel to fall into place. Taking the shorter panel now, note the difference in the profile. One end has a kink and one end is only a half. The short panel sits behind the long panel. Put the kink to the middle of the planter. Repeat the same steps for the other side. Now, if you haven't already done so, repeat the first steps to construct the 2 top rail assembly ends. The difference is not to join the ends together before we attach them to the top of the planter now. So taking one end at a time, carefully place the top rail assembly over the planter. Repeat for the other end. Before you use the rail connectors, it's a good idea to fasten the top rail assembly to the planter body with the 4 screws through the holes provided. Once the ends are secure, take the connector rails, and lining up the holes, insert the screws. Now for the wicking system. Unfold the liner as shown, making sure that the corners are made nice and square. Push the tabs through one at a time, securing each corner. Now insert the liner into the planter, making sure that the overflow holes line up. Next we will need our inlet pipe, our overflow pipe, our wicking cells, and a sharp knife. With a sharp knife, carefully remove the circle from one of the cells. Noting the 3 holes around the circle that you've just cut line up with 3 tabs on the bottom of the inlet pipe. Gently place the tabs into the holes, making it secure. Place the cell with the inlet pipe in the reservoir liner. I like to go to the opposite end from the overflow. There is no need to remove the circle from the middle cell. Place that next to the cell with the inlet pipe. The final cell will need to have the overflow pipe connected to it. Ensuring that the orientation is correct, gently clip the overflow pipe to the underside of the cell. Once attached to the underside of the pipe, remove the nut, washer and spacer. Feeding the last tile through the hole in the reservoir and out through the planter. Replace the spacer, then the washer, and finally the nut. Now the planter is assembled, you will need 6 litres of perlite and 150 litres or 6 25-litre bags of growing mix. Finally, remove the excess thread on the overflow pipe with the small sharp knife. Happy gardening.